Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, you folks, sampler review series videos I've been doing for a while now. We go over there, try out food and drink items, eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I'm doing another one from Jimmy John's. I just got through doing one. I'm doing another one. So if you didn't like that one, I don't know if you're gonna like this one. That's the roll of the dice that we take. You folks, you can, there's a title card and everything like that, but maybe you're not paying attention or whatever. So this is your trigger warning. Absolutely can't stand Jimmy John's sub sandwich reviews. Just drop off now. But anyway, it's a super simple format. I'm gonna go over there, try out food and/or drink items. In this case, of the Jimmy John's variety. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I like that. I love super cool shirt. Super cool shirt I'm wearing today. Boom! It's my Steel Dawn shirt. Which I don't know. I think I've definitely worn it in a couple of reviews now because I've done a couple of reviews today. But I don't know if I did any with this one before that. I've had this shirt for a few years. If you're not familiar, Steel Dawn is a Patrick Swayze martial arts action movie. A bit of a dystopian flair to it. And it's surprisingly, it gets very little love, despite the fact that obviously a lot of people really love his movie Roadhouse. This one has plenty of ass kicking in it. It actually has his future wife in it. She co-stars with him. The cast is actually really good. It's a lot of fun. I recommend the fuck out of this one. I feel it's very underappreciated. It's not essential viewing, but if you enjoy some Patrick Swayze ass kicking, I might actually go watch this movie later today. But anyway, what am I reviewing for y'all, folks? Well, it is, boom, it's from Jimmy John's. And specifically, it is the number 14, which is the Bootlegger Club sub sandwich, which consists of roast beef, turkey, lettuce, tomato, and mayo. And because some people have asked me about the price line, it cost me $8.29 for a regular size sub, which, not a bad size sub. But I have to go over there and mention a few things. Number one, I am doing this because I have been going for over half a year now on sub sandwich adventures. Okay, I have been trekking all throughout the immediate area of the land that I live in, trying out sub sandwiches from different locations, from chains to delis to gas stations, everywhere I can get a sub sandwich. Number two, I have an entire playlist for my sub sandwiches called Subs for Subs. So if you like my sub sandwich reviews, they're all right there for you, and there will be more, I assure you. When will there be more? Well, folks, Sunday, because number 3 on the list is Sunday is SUBday. Sunday is the day when I go over there and I upload my sub sandwich reviews. So if you do enjoy my sub sandwich reviews, and some of you seem to do so, wait till Sunday. You will get a sub sandwich review. I can damn near guarantee it. I haven't missed a Sunday since I started doing that. But anyway, let's try ourselves out a Bootlegger Club. I got 2 sandwiches. The other one I just reviewed was their Hunter Club sub, which was double roast beef and cheese. This one is roast beef and turkey. Can you sense the theme? So, let's open it up. And as I mentioned in my previous review, I want to give full credit to the staff of the Jimmy John's that I went to. I don't usually go to this one, but I had to stop off in an area anyway, and they were right there, so I was like, boom. Staff were extremely cool, and they got me my food like fucking that. So, seriously, that was a nice experience. Not that I've ever had a bad experience with Jimmy John's or anything, but, when the person behind the counter shouts out my Steel Dawn shirt, that was pretty badass. So, let's take a look at this sub sandwich, folks. It's very long. Boom! It's a sub sandwich. Can we get a better picture, please, dear God? We can't get a worse one. Ha 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 ha. Sure. Something like that. One thing I'm going to mention, I wish they would cut it in half. I know it's a regular size sub, but I feel like still that warrants a cut in half. But, let's try out turkey and roast beef sub sandwich. No cheese on this one. I just noticed. Not that that's a bad thing or anything. Cheese is always great, but, you you can certainly have a sub sandwich without cheese. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, the turkey helps. Turkey definitely helps. Yeah, I think so. With the Hunters Club sandwich, I love a roast beef sandwich, so that's why I decided to get 2 roast beef type sandwiches. With the Hunters Club, which is more strict roast beef type sub, it's roast beef and provolone. It was okay for what it was, but I did feel like the roast beef, while it wasn't bad, it was tasty enough. I didn't feel like it really shined properly. With this one, I feel like the turkey kind of helps. I think it works with the roast beef in a nice way, because, like, the turkey is probably the more flavorful of the two in this equation. I'm getting more from it. But when it kind of dials back a little bit, it seems to, like, give this, like, nice rush of roast beef flavor that I didn't really get from the Hunters Club. And maybe that's just because you had the provolone instead of the turkey, or, maybe just, some way that it came together. But I'm kind of down with this one. It's a very meaty sub. And yeah, get a nice hit from the turkey. Turkey tastes decent. Then you get this little period where they sort of blend. The turkey and the roast beef kind of blend together. And then, once that kind of dials down, that's when you get that bigger hit of the turkey. Or not the turkey, the roast beef. So it kind of like, I don't know, kind of condenses the flavor into this nice meaty mesh. I wasn't sure. I mean, I would imagine turkey and roast beef would work well. They're both tasty. But I have to admit, I'm surprised at how well they work in this instance. That's not a bad sub. But things have to be made, criticisms have to be made, and what have you. I've mentioned this pretty much every sub sandwich I reviewed. I've done for Jimmy John's. Their bread, it's just not great. Now let me point out, it's not terrible. I'm not saying it's bad bread, but it feels very standard. It's just, here's the bread. And well, it can be tempting to feel that that's how it should be for a sub, because ultimately, you want the meats and everything inside to really stand out. The difference a good bread can make in a sub sandwich is shocking. I have had a lot of sub sandwiches, and I've had some very good bread, and I've had some not very good bread. And really good bread will elevate a sandwich to its upper limits. And I do feel like in this instance, this is a good basis for a sub sandwich. I'm enjoying this quite a bit for what it is. It's simple, it's honest, but it works really well. But the bread isn't really adding anything. There's not a lot of taste to it. It's just, even texture-wise, you want that. And I don't know, maybe Jimmy John's does this intentionally. Maybe they don't use a more standard French bread. Maybe they figure the people who are getting their sandwiches are busy and they don't want crumbs and shit all over their shirts. Fair enough. I mean, their bread does work to that effect. Maybe that's the actual reason. I don't know. In terms of the flavor profile, it just, man, they would benefit so much. They just went over there and just had like some proper French bread. Just like with that crispy outside and that nice soft inside. It really is, I think, the biggest thing that holds Jimmy John's back. Because, like, their ingredients and everything are decent enough. It just needs that little hitch to get over it. And this, I feel, 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Maybe. And kinda yeah. So here's the thing. This isn't a bad sub. I would say this is my favorite sub that I've had from Jimmy John's. I would have expected it to have been the Hunters Club, because, I love a roast beef sub. But this one, I think the extra meatiness of it, I think the turkey worked really well with the roast beef. I mean, I'm not saying it blew my fucking mind, but like it definitely exceeded my expectations by a fair amount, and it deserves credit for that. And I could see if I was at a Jimmy John's, I could see this being the sub that I got again, because it genuinely works for me. It's a roast beef sub with just a little bit of a twist. It's still very simple, very humble, which is what a roast beef sub sandwich should be. And it worked. It worked for me. Like I said, I just feel like the bread kind of lets it down a little bit. I feel like better bread, it would be a standout for me. That said, as for recommending it to anybody else, I think if you enjoy a roast beef sub, you could do worse than this. I've had worse than this. So I do feel like it is, maybe not worth venturing all the way to a Jimmy John's 4, but if you happen to be close by to one or something like that and you want to get yourself a sub, this is one I would recommend. Just me. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, spend this rest of your folks. You go over there and have yourselves a truly roast beef and turkey-tastic sandwich rest of your life, because it surprisingly worked well and I enjoyed it. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. You're over there. Life can be stressful and frustrating. I had to deal with some bullshit at work, and then I strained my knee, and I had to take a day off work, and then I had to go to the doctor to get my knee checked out, and I had to take a drug test because it was a company thing, and they're like, you were on drugs. I mean, they didn't actually say that, but it's just standard policy for my company, regardless of what the fuck the problem is. You still have to go over there and get a drug test. I showed up to the thing, and you're like, yeah, because, your company wants you to take a drug test because the injury was at work. It's like, okay, but like, if I'd known this, I wouldn't have taken a piss like 5 minutes before I left my house. So I'm standing there with the cup, just like, think about waterfalls, downpour storms, something. Just get anything moving, because I didn't want to have to wait around for like 3 hours. But it's important when we run into those situations. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there, maybe you're going to get yourself a fantastic roast beef sub from wherever it might be. And maybe you're going to try out various meats on top of it. Who knows what. Just your chickens, maybe some squid, nothing endangered or anything like that, but, pheasant, right? That's a thing you can eat. And maybe you'll find the ultimate combination of meats when it comes to the roast beef sub sandwich. You'd be like, this is the best version of this sandwich ever. Which would be cool, and it's great that you did all that research, but I'm not going to lie, I'm probably still just going to go for a straight roast beef sandwich, because fuck, I love a straight roast beef sandwich. Or conversely, go watch Steel Dawn with Patrick Swayze. It's a good movie. Bye!